Mama's in the living room watching Judge Judy. I'm in the kitchen eating leftover sushi, and she goes, "Oh, girl, you gotta hear this one." A man was arrested for running the theme park, and when they said, "Where's your license?" he said, "My dog ate it." Oh, you can't make this shit up. Sometimes I wonder if life's just one big cosmic joke. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on a Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on a Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout. Girl, you gotta hear this one. Mama loves to laugh at how absurd life is, says it's all a comedy and I'm her audience. And I love the way she makes fun of the world. She said, "You'll never guess what's with their girlfriend. It was a man who didn't get us out of the bed. He said, I've been through hell and now I need some help. You just can't make this shit up. You just can't make this shit up." Sometimes I wonder if life's just one big cosmic joke. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on a Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on a Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout. Girl, you gotta hear this one.
Welcome back to Squid Pro Quo. I am Heather, and today we are covering something that we have not covered since the original lawsuit dropped back at the end of April. This is the response from MrBeast to the lawsuit filed against him. It should be interesting. We are going to hit the highlights because life is crazy. I meant to cover this weeks ago. This was actually filed 2 days after the original complaint was filed, which is a pretty fast turnaround in my opinion, which means he knew this was coming. However, we're going to get into it pretty quickly. However, I am live on Rumble. I think I got it to work. Hopefully. Let me do one thing just to make Okay, we are up and going on Rumble. That works. I have the chat open. Hey everybody on Rumble. I got it. Somehow I got it to work. And here's the weird part. For some reason, this still works. That is over on Rumble. This is over on YouTube. This is over on Rumble. I don't know how I got it to work. I just did. And that's all the attention I am grabbing to that. Because for some reason, I am an anomaly. And I got it to work somehow. So I'm just going to not talk about that anymore. And I'm going to thank Ong Hong Hero for the 20 gifted Squid Pro Quo memberships. I appreciate you so very, very much. And Jeffrey Montgomery for your comment on Rumble. And I can bring up Rumble comments. I don't understand why I can do that because some people can't. Really. And Rick Reed for being a member for 8 months. Thank you so very much. All right. Florida Flipper, thanks for always lurking. I appreciate it. It's been a couple weeks, but we are back and we are back with a vengeance. So thanks for everybody who has helped get my other channel to 389 subscribers. I don't know how we did that. I'm kind of floored. And welcome to the crazy. It is 90 degrees outside and your girl ain't going to try to straighten her hair until November. So this is what the crazy that you will get used to. Sorry about that. However, we're going to get into this MrBeast lawsuit because it's kind of spicy, but not in the way that I thought it was going to be. So we will see what it entails. And I have it because I wasn't prepared. I did not actually open it up prior to. And once again, this is based all on this is from Pacer, because this was filed in the Eastern District of North Carolina. It is a federal document. It depends on what streaming software. Well, people have had a problem with StreamYard specifically that I know of. I don't pay attention to other people's issues with other platforms and Rumble, because I have a hard enough time figuring out what I actually use, let alone paying attention to things that don't pertain to me at that particular time. So, yeah, I would not go that far. It's called stupid lucky. It's called you F around enough times and you hit enough buttons. Sometimes you magically get things to work. You did? Okay. So, this is defendant's answer and affirmative defenses to the complaint. Defendants MrBeast, Game Changer, LLC, 24/7. And the little is right here if you can hear her. Ooh, you figured out this. Yeah, I don't know how. Just, it's a thing. It's a thing. Defendants deny each and every allegation contained in the complaint. Shocker. Defendants further deny that plaintiff is entitled to the relief she seeks, including any damages, equitable relief, attorney's fees, or costs. So, TLDR, if you were not here for the stream back in April where we covered the original lawsuit, not getting into the details, but we can drop the link to that stream. She was basically suing. She was alleging that he made her work. He made rude comments, made her work on her maternity leave. She was working in the delivery room, which, devil's advocate, I was bored out of my skull when I was sitting in the delivery room kind of just waiting. So plausibility of working when you're in the delivery room does not always mean you're being forced to do something, but it sounds bad on its face. Split screen helps with pinging in between both here and Rumble, just saying. I have the lawsuit up, and then I have the Rumble chat right next to it, so I can kind of see. I don't know exactly how this is going to work. I'm still new at this. My channel has only been up for 2 years. This is the second time I've streamed on Rumble. Ask Grandpa. So it's a thing. So plaintiff is a social media influencer who filed this lawsuit to gain publicity by leveraging one of the most recognized YouTube creators in the world. Plaintiff, who now has 1 million followers on Instagram, launched and promoted her lawsuit with a media blitz that included interviews with NBC, New York Magazine, the Associated Press, New York Times, and Instagram. Plaintiff has also made a series of demonstrably false allegations, including that she worked as an executive in a C-suite level role at the company. Only after she had completed her media tour did plaintiff assert, without a hint of irony, the snark in this already. Whoever wrote this, the snark level in this lawsuit already is on fire. I mean, just. And Heidel, I think I added you as a mod over on Rumble. I think. Let me know if it worked or not. But But just the way this is written already, and we're only on page 1. So I anticipate this getting very snarky very fast. That she will let the legal process speak for itself after doing a media tour. Yeah. I mean, it's revealing that for all her complaints about the company's culture, the relief plaintiff seeks in the lawsuit is a request for reinstatement to her position within the company. That is and this is why I like both sides of the story, because when I'm reading the lawsuit and I'm reading it initially, not everything sinks in right away, especially when I haven't read it. And then when you read the other side of the story and people point out the logic, like a friend came to me the other day, kind of upset about a situation. And they came to me because they knew that I might be the voice of reason to calm the emotion just a little bit. Because if they went to other friends or family members, they would reinforce the negative emotion. And I would be like, let's logic this out. And it worked. When we got done talking, my friend was not as upset as they were when they came to me. However, I kind of get like that when I'm reading lawsuits too, because you get wrapped up in what you're reading, plausible on its face, and you forget that there's a second side. So you try to play devil's advocate, but you forget that there's a second side. So when the second side comes up and tells you the facts that the plaintiff decided they didn't want to share, like, doing a media tour, but you kind of look at it and it goes, oh yeah, that's right. And I know this was 2 months ago when we read it, because I read this the day after it came out, which was like April 22nd. This came out on the 24th. So it's just interesting when you read both sides. But this is also why we read both sides, and we don't just stick to one side and only one sided documents, because there's always 3 sides to a story. One, the plaintiff, the defendant, and somewhere in the middle is the truth. The truth is opposite of what the plaintiff has stated, both publicly on her media tour and in this complaint. When she raised issues, the company investigated. And when she made requests, the company accommodated them. Yeah. And it's been a couple months since we read the original complaint. So I can't exactly remember word for word what was said. However, I hate my job so much. I hate this company. You are misogynist. You are this, you are that, you are this. And I want my job back. Make that one make sense. Yeah, sue me and I'll give you your job back. I mean, And when she made requests, the company accommodated them, from her request to change roles to gain experience in other parts of the business, to her request to go to her native Brazil for a photo shoot with an international soccer star while on parental leave, to her request to extend her leave to account for that trip. That was one thing she didn't mention, that her leave was extended. The way she made it sound was that he forced her to work on her maternity leave. That's a little different than she requested to go and then they extended her maternity leave because, you went on a trip for work for a week or 8 days. We're going to extend your maternity leave by 8 days to make up for the time that you were working. That is actually kind of respectful, if this is true. Once again, this is only, nothing is, these are only what they say is true. Both sides can allege facts, but until we see discovery or the judge says, yeah, this is what I believe to be true, anything's possible. Because remember, although it's not good to lie in a legal document, it still happens. We've seen it. We have seen it multiple times. So, through all of this, plaintiff was attempting to brand herself as an influencer and hard-charging executive, including by referring to herself as the COO of the company's verticals division, a title and role that did not exist. That's a little shady, if I do say so myself. And posting videos to Instagram, such as a video in which plaintiff claims she was giving directions to my team from the delivery room and adding, ha ha ha, so let's just say I worked literally until the very last second. In reality, plaintiff participated in that meeting on her own accord with no instruction or expectation from the company to do so. At bottom, plaintiff's termination was a lawful business decision that was unrelated to her gender, parental leave, or raising of any issues with HR. It was simply the result of hard choices the company had to make to restructure a specific business that was underperforming. Like others, male and female, including the male former CEO of the division, plaintiff's position was eliminated to increase organizational efficiency and lower costs. The new executive who oversaw the restructuring and made those difficult personnel decisions harbored no ill will towards plaintiff or any of the other men and women he let go at the same time. Plaintiff's allegations do not change these facts. They ignore them. See, a lawyer or just a person in general without snark would have stopped here. However, the snark. So the footnote, it's notable that when the company previously launched an investigation into company culture in 2024, plaintiff did not share any of the alleged concerns outlined in the complaint. And honestly, if this makes it to discovery, I would really like to see this. She sounds like she is self-important. Somebody's lying. It's up to the judge to figure out who. But somebody's lying. Because both of these cannot be true at the same time. History of plaintiff's parental leave underscores these points. Contrary to her assertions, the company informed plaintiff of her entitlement to parental leave under FMLA, which is outlined in the employee handbook. The actual handbook, as opposed to what her complaint mischaracterizes as such, that she acknowledged receiving. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Oh, yes. And a little update. Sorry to derail. The F-bomb. I have the link above me if you are watching from a computer or TV. If you click the link, you can get is now 12% off on bundles, but the code can no longer be stacked with bundles. As of this morning, I got an email from the company, and the regular discount code is 12%. So they are restructuring their company. So, just FYI. But that is still my favorite stuff, and I still love it, and I will still continue to use it every chance I get. Like, I actually am done using. I threw away one of the tins because it was empty. I actually emptied one. Finally, after months. All right. Back to the story. She claimed in her lawsuit that there was no actual employee handbook and there was just some like boys club joke of a handbook. I can't remember the specific detail of it, but she just it sounded really, really bad. Hold on, I have to return a text real quick. There you go. Yeah, it's somewhere, I'm sure. But, you know. Likewise, the company did not insist or even request that plaintiff travel to Brazil while on parental leave. Well, whether it was for the opportunity to return to her native Brazil to meet Neymar or portray herself as indispensable, this is the snark. I mean, this lawyer is snarky. Whoever wrote this has an attitude, and I'm kind of here for it. Not that I'm a huge MrBeast fan. I do occasionally watch him, but I have not watched his stuff since the original Squid Game videos, which I'm surprised he didn't get sued for over that. But that's a story in itself. Or to portray herself as indispensable. Um, here we go. Plaintiff actively lobbied to travel to Brazil, telling others that she would be extremely valuable to the team. What does tallow balm smell like? Because it's animal fat, I can't help but imagine it smells meaty. This one has frankincense and honey in it, so it doesn't really have like a steak smell. It more smells like a mix of a light frankincense with honey. So it's a very light scent. Tammy can probably tell you a little more. Jeffrey, stop getting sassy. This is what I like. The thing that I noticed that she didn't really do a whole lot of is provide evidence, specifics. She made claims, but there wasn't a lot of specific issue or specific things. Hey, Rodman, how are you? All right. This was Lorraine Mavromatis. There are many moving parts to this, especially being in less than 40 hours. Despite being on maternity leave, I feel like it would be extremely valuable to go with you to make sure everything works out smoothly and to have a Brazilian citizen on the ground with y'all for last minute things that may arise. Especially with his team, how would the logistics work though? Would there be a seat available on the jet for me? Devil's advocate, her being a Brazilian native, totally understand why she thinks she would be valuable. Speaking the language, knowing the culture. I'm just saying, these are things that are important when you're traveling and when you're trying to do business. I wouldn't want to go to Italy and do business with Italians, not knowing how Italians do business. Because American business and Italian business are different. Can't imagine it's different for Brazil. Wouldn't want to go down to Brazil to try to do business without knowing what the culture in business is like. She could help with that. So this is where it's tricky. And this is where you're not always going to agree with everybody. You don't even know who MrBeast is. I think MrBeast has like, he was at one point the largest creator on YouTube. So he, yeah. And Malin, thanks for the Swedish krona. Crap late fee. Love you, Malin. You're the best. And it's never late because, we have our obligatory, little BS and getting, speaking of why streamers talk at the beginning of streams for like 10, 15, 20 minutes and get like housekeeping stuff out of the way before they get into their topic. Do you know I got a notification for Tug's stream on Saturday night this morning during day stream? 2 days later. So sometimes YouTube is a little delayed with sending out notifications to people. So it gives people time to like come on in and for YouTube to do their job. Just saying. I got a stream. I got a, hey, Tug is live on a stream that was 2 days old. Make that one make sense. I don't know. Plaintiff happily participated, working energetically and excited to meet Neymar. I mean, as she would. I mean, I'd be excited. After the shoot ended and the crew returned home, plaintiff stayed behind on information and belief, visited with family living in Brazil. When plaintiff asked to extend her paternal leave to account for the time she spent in Brazil, the company agreed without hesitation. What remains of plaintiff's complaint are hostile work environment allegations for claims she foreshadows but does not yet bring. The unasserted claim appears to center on conduct of former employees who left the company years ago after a well-publicized 2024 culture review ordered by the company's current management team to help with a rapidly growing company evolve into what it is today. Any claims plaintiff may try to assert about the company's former managers are, however, time-barred under Title VII. Oh, please don't tell me that MrBeast is going the way of Quarter Pounder. He was sued back in April. This is the response to the lawsuit that was brought against him. So he did not actively bring any lawsuits. I don't know. For some reason, like, to even compare, I don't know, and I have not actively watched MrBeast have a meltdown. As to my belief, he has never had an internet meltdown like the quartering. And because I've mentioned the quartering, he's going to be the next person to strike my channel, like Kino Casino. I don't even like Kino Casino, but I will stick up for them in that respect. And Jeremy, you're making Wisconsin look god-awful. Just saying. Like, there was a time when I watched the quartering. Oh, whatever was I thinking? I'm not exactly sure. I'm sorry, can someone tell me who, when, what this is about? This case, I'm lost. So MrBeast and one of his companies was being sued by a former employee, Lorraine Mavromatis, for things such as a bad culture. I believe I have to bring up I will bring up the original complaint just to look at the allegations. It was filed April 22nd. So oh yeah, look at that. So she wants an order reinstating plaintiff to her former position as CEO for Verticals. Interesting. So you hate the company, you think there's a bad culture, but you want, yeah. So she's suing for wrongful discharge in violation of North Carolina public policy. Let's count 4. FMLA retaliation. Intentional infliction of emotional distress, which is really hard to prove. And what else? The first count. FMLA interference. So this is all a former employee. And this is the response to it. So paragraph 1 contains plaintiff's characterization of her lawsuit and legal conclusions to which no response is required. And here's what we're going to do. Because they do this in a way that lawyers do this all the time, but they do this in a way that makes it really cumbersome to read. So I'm going to stop sharing my window and I'm just going to share my entire screen. And welcome to Summer Hair with Squid. It's crazy. It gets weird. So this right here on the left is the nuke or the response. On the right is the initial complaint. So we are going to go through, because they go paragraph 2. Well, we're going to look at paragraph 2 and go through it that way, because that just keeps it straight in my head. I don't know about you guys, but when I read paragraph 2 alleges this, I don't know what the F paragraph 2 is unless I'm looking at the original complaint. So, yes, it is too freaking hot to use the hair dryer every day, and if I go outside, my hair is going to curl anyway, so why? Yeah. Winning 2-speed is fun. I sound like a chipmunk. I know I sound like a chipmunk at 2-speed. So, 3 admitted that plaintiff was employed by MrBeast on or about August 22nd. Defendant denies any remaining allegations or implications in paragraph 3. The relevant times. 4, defendants admit Jimmy Donaldson, aka MrBeast, is a media personality, and that he has the businesses Beast Games, MrBeast Burger, Lunchly, Feastable, Few Stats. His content includes large-scale challenges and philanthropic endeavors. I can never say that word. Yeah. I can never say that word. Defendants deny all remaining characterizations and allegations. So, defendants admit that Mr. Donaldson began posting YouTube videos as a teenager. Defendants admit MrBeast affiliated businesses have grown significantly in the past decade, including his subscriber base, commercial partnerships. Defendants deny remaining characterizations in 6. Defendants admit MrBeast affiliated businesses collectively employ more than 500 people. 8 is denied, notwithstanding. So 8, this is why I bring up the original complaint, because denied. What the F are you denying? Notwithstanding immense changes seen outwardly by the public from home-filled YouTube videos, internally MrBeast is operated like a startup. He denies that. Upon information and belief, plaintiff's employment, MrBeast did not have an employee handbook. So, not only does he deny that, instead, MrBeast distributed a handbook to employees titled How to Succeed in MrBeast Production that included sections such as it's okay for the boys to be childish. Up here, I have received the MrBeast employee handbook. I would really like to see what the actual handbook looks like, and that is what will make discovery in this case so damn fascinating. Because is he lying and the employee handbook actually states things like she says over here, or is she lying and this employee handbook is a legit HR employee handbook like 99.9% of other companies in the US? See you. Yeah. He's he's the person that runs challenges like, hey, stay in this circle long enough, and if you're the last person to stay in this circle, you get $10,000 or whatever the case is, stuff like that. So, ten, MrBeast's failure to implement standard employment guidelines resulted in plaintiff as well as female employees suffered from violations. She pulls the female card on this so many times. Thanks, Haley. And I am obviously a female, contrary to what some people these days have tried to assert. Mama duties, I will be right back. Thank you for your patience. Mama duties may ensue at any time because I am first and foremost a mother, and she is more important than anybody on YouTube. I love you guys, but I love her more. Anyway, getting back to this. And if you have a problem with me stopping my stream to do mama duties, send all complaints to the focus group, and the focus group will do what is appropriate with the complaints. And for those of you who are unaware, focus stands for fuck off because you suck. Yeah, he's the one that likes giving away money. It's a rush for some people. I used to do it too. I mean, it is a rush for... If you have that FU money, you do what you do with your FU money. I don't have FU money. I wish I did, because right now I would like to tell somebody to FU, and I would love the money to do it. However, yeah. Oh, it's awkward, Haley. It is awkward. Like, I understand that YouTube and YouTube live streams specifically, it is a grift saying hit the like button. Please subscribe if you haven't. Share the stream out, because I know about 60% of the people who watch my streams do not subscribe. And that's kind of hurtful. However, that feels grifty to me, and it's super weird. And I'm so bad. So I have Gail and Heidel and my other mods to grift for me, because I am so awkward and bad, and I laugh every time. It's what, you're leaving me on the interwebs over your own child? Oof, I know, right? How dare my child be more important than internet strangers? Like, I love you guys, but I made her. Just saying. Just saying. Oh, all right. And I'm going to try to make this as big as we can. Let's see. There we go. Welcome to my computer. It's weird in here. And working and lurking. Yep, I saw. You drive safe. All right. So defendants admit plaintiff was hired in August of 2022. Defendants admit plaintiff received promotions and title changes during her first year of employment. Defendant denied all remaining allegations in 12. And the rest of the allegations say she was subjected to multiple adverse employment actions, including negative transfer, demotion, and termination. And Harry, thank you for the $5 super chat. The telefunds. She will love that. She will absolutely love that. Because the girl is on a Nutella tear. And Nutella ain't cheap. Nutella makes you... Yeah, Nutella makes you, like, want to shop at, like, Aldi for the rest of your groceries, because you're, like, scraping the bottom of the piggy bank there. 13, 14, and 15 are denied. The 13 is plaintiff herself and other female employees subjected to smexy time harassment that was both condoned and perpetrated by supervisors. 14, plaintiff was treated differently than male counterpart. Plaintiff was told to leave an otherwise all-male meeting. She was told by a male colleague to shut up or stop talking. And here's the thing. Sometimes when you're told to shut up by a coworker, it has nothing to do with your gender. It has to do with the fact that you're talking too much, or you're annoying, or you're stupid. It can be considered rude, but it might have more to do with your personality than your gender. I really do take offense to the people who, when they're told to shut up or that they suck or that they're horrible at their job, automatically go into the victim mentality of, you told me I'm horrible at my job because I'm a woman. No, you're horrible at your job because you're horrible at your job. Just saying. And of course, you're going to be treated differently than your male counterparts. You're a woman. And apparently, you're an easily offended woman, which is, I'm just, you know what I mean? Like, those who are easily offended are hard to employ because they bitch about everything. They go to HR about everything. They create a negative work environment. Maybe the work environment sucked because she was an employee. Like I said, I don't know. I wasn't there. We're just going based on what the facts are. But even in reading her original lawsuit, I wanted to be on her side, but it was just, I had to play devil's advocate. But like, honestly, if you've watched any of his YouTube videos, especially ones when he was in his teens and early 20s, he is a teenager and early 20s male. You kind of know what you're getting yourself into when the company you're working for is run by a teenager. I don't know. I don't know how else to explain that. Like, teenage boys and early 20s males are not the most mature people. Tell me I'm wrong. Feel free to argue with me in the chat. Oh, and remind me at the end of the stream, we do have a hater of the week segment because we got a doozy of a comment that I'm not really sure I understand. Call me stupid, call me uneducated, you know, but I have a doozy of a comment for you. There are always people who will cry discrimination because something doesn't go their way. Yeah. And it's just one of those situations where sometimes shit doesn't go your way because shit doesn't go your way and life ain't fair. But to automatically throw the victim card of I'm a woman, I'm disabled, I'm this. No, sometimes shit just doesn't go your way. And this is where, if this really did happen, I feel for her. However, to accuse someone of smexy time harassment is a big deal. Is a big deal. So, yeah, I wanted to be able to support her too, but yeah, she is crying because someone hurt their fifis. Yeah, and yeah, that's the part that I don't like about it, but it's so damn good. So damn good. Ugh. So 15, executives' demeaning treatment towards women was publicly displayed at MrBeast headquarters when male executives laughed and made jokes at the office about female contestants of Beast Games who complained they did not have access to feminine hygiene products and clean underwear while participating in the show. I really hope that's not true. I just really hope that's not true. Defendants admit plaintiff raised internal concerns that were investigated and she was told her claims were unsubstantiated. Defendants admit plaintiff's employment ended November 6, 2025. Defendants deny all remaining allegations. The other allegations where she was transferred to an obscure role known by employees as the division where careers go to die. MrBeast terminated plaintiff less than 3 weeks after she returned from FMLA and pregnancy-related leave, telling her she was too high caliber for the role she was demoted into after formally complaining about smexy time harassment in the hostile work environment. And this is my thing. She asked to be reinstated at her position. If this is such a hostile work environment, why do you want to work there? No, if I'm in a hostile work environment and I'm suing, I want my change. I want my dollar bills. Give me money so I can go work somewhere else. I don't want to go back to which is one of the reasons that I like, even when we were in a lawsuit for wrongful termination, we didn't dude didn't want to go back to the job that he just no fuck what the hell? Like, that shows that some fuckery is afoot. Something does not pass the smell test. Ugh. Oh, and Jeffrey, I just realized I had 2 of these sitting on the table. Like, yeah, shows are expected to provide feminine hygiene products, and niggers over there, that's a personal responsibility in life, isn't it? That's what I'm saying. Um, like, I do know courtesy places have, like, feminine products in the bathroom. Like, a couple of the companies that I've been to, they provide, "Hey, here's some courtesy stuff. If you take it next time you're here, replace it," kind of a situation. But, like, eh, like, they didn't have access to, why are you not bringing your own change of clothes? That's probably why her claims were unsubstantiated. If I'm just looking at this at surface level, her claims might be unsubstantiated because why were we expected to provide contestants with, and only female contestants with, clean underwear? That's creepy. Feminine products I can see being courtesy in the bathrooms, like whatever. But like, eh, eh, I don't. Yeah, yeah. I've heard some businesses provide products here, but historically, the most you get is a machine in the bathroom, free to buy them from. Yeah, large companies like retail stores do have vending machines in the bathrooms that supply Kotex and pads, and smaller businesses, generally like locally owned businesses or businesses with less employees, will just provide like things for their customers. Like the gym that I go to now has feminine hygiene products in the bathrooms, just in case you're at the gym and you're like, "Oops, didn't expect that today," kind of a situation. But that's not required, or that's not a law. That's a common courtesy because the business owner gives a shit. That's also a benefit of a female owned business. Just saying. If admitted defendants posted openings for social media related positions from time to time, the plaintiff was offered a generous severance agreement following the end of her employment. Deny anymore. Like, MrBeast filled the social media content manager position with a male in early 2026. And those products that are provided aren't a brand that I would use. I always carried my own. Yeah, I always keep stuff in my car. But I'm also a toddler mom, so like I keep a change of clothes, put an extra pull up, all of that stuff in my car, and an ouch pouch, and a shirt for myself because if she gets sick and I'm holding her, all the things. Like, the back of my car is a busy place. It looks like a little shopping mall back there. So, and that I have women products in my bathroom for whoever comes to see me. You never know what might happen. And that's fair. That's pretty awesome. But once again, not required, just a courtesy. It's something you do out of the kindness of your heart. It's not something that is required by law to do, that I'm aware of anyway. All right. The letter referenced in paragraph 18 speaks for itself. Defendants deny any characterization inconsistent with its terms. Paragraph 19 states a legal conclusion regarding subject matter jurisdiction. Yeah. 20 is the legal conclusion. No response is required to all of these. We're not going to read all that. Jurisdiction and venue. We're skipping that because, we like to read it, but I also don't like to waste time reading things that aren't important. And jurisdiction and venue, that's a decision for the judge, not for me. Defendants admit plaintiff filed a charge with the EEOC that purports to have been filed on December 29th of 2025. So, and here's the thing. You can file a charge with the EEOC, but from what I'm aware of, it takes a lot for the EEOC to actually file a complaint against the business. And if the EEOC decides to send something to the business will get something from the EEOC. And that's what as of 27, defendants lack knowledge or information sufficient to form a belief as to whether the EEOC has issued a notice of right to sue. They probably haven't. Defendants reserve all rights and defenses with respect to any future amendment of the complaint. So all of this goes administrative requirements. The parties. We know the plaintiff's female. Yeah, we don't really. Sometimes things don't need a response. Don't need to know about where MrBeast is located, except for it's in the state of North Carolina. Paragraph 33 states a legal conclusion to which the extent of response is required, admitted that MrBeast YouTube meets the numerical threshold to qualify as an employer under FMLA. Have a good night, Malin. All right. The first sentence of 36 states a legal conclusion. MrBeast YouTube and Game Changer operate as a single integrated enterprise and joint employers with respect to plaintiff's employment. 37 is denied. That's or share offices and have a common ownership. Management and control maintain interrelated operations and offices, share employees, resources, and exercise centralized control over labor relations and personal decisions. Interesting. Defendant admits during plaintiff's employment, defendant had operations in Greenville, North Carolina. 39 is denied. Defendants have employed more than 50 employees within 75 miles of plaintiff's worksite in Greenville. That's an interesting. In my opinion, I think the company likely violated the employment rules and probably was a hostile work environment and did her dirty, but she seems overly dramatic and not very professional. Yeah, I'm thinking the fact that you know what kind of person MrBeast is based on his personality and his YouTube videos. Once again, that can be a completely fake persona put on for videos, an act, shall you say? I'm not good at that, so I am just who I am. I'm not really good at putting on an act in videos. I'm about as good of an actress as Amber Heard. Take that one for what you will. However, still a very young male starting a company. Good on him for wanting to be an entrepreneur. Great. No, he's built an empire. However, still has the cognitive processes of a 20-something male. Like, let's be honest here. Remember that the brain of a male, the brain doesn't fully develop until 25. So he's college age, or at the time he started this company, was college age. He's going to act like a college kid because he is. You kind of should know what you're getting into based on the personalities of the people who you are choosing to work for. It's like, I don't know how to describe that, but how do you work for, like, you work for somebody that acts like a kid in their videos? You might act like a kid behind the scenes, or you work for someone that's stiff and boring and stuff, and you're going to get a stiff, boring, harsh, by the book work environment. It kind of, I want to see discovery age is important. There are a lot. I get that. But like when you know that you're working for someone who might, and it's also about choosing your work environment based on more than money. Because I think she chose to work for him based on the fact that the money she got paid, because it sounded like she was making a pretty damn good penny. However, I don't know if I would ever want to work for MrBeast just based on his personality and his videos would fucking annoy me. That frat boy kind of mentality just fucking annoys me. Maybe because I passed that ship a long time ago. That ship done sailed. I got through my like drinking era, my party era. No, it's kind of one. It's kind of like you choose who you work, like you know who MrBeast is. He's a public figure. So when you're choosing to work for him, like you know how his personality is. I know there are laws, but like it's the Annie M, my way of describing it, it's like going to work for Just J Hip or going to work for like the president. Not this current one, but like the role itself. Like there's a difference in like the language used, the formalities, things like that. Yeah. I had 2 weeks under my belt at Boeing and was told by my lead trainer I was tucking a job away from a man about 1980. Yeah, that checks. That checks. Because, it's 1985. That checks. All right. Mama duties. There we go. Whee! And that's fair. We don't always have to agree to get along. Yeah, but typical 1980s mentality for sure. Feminine hygiene supply requirements for employers. Woohoo! Let's see. And this is why I love my people. No private employers are not currently required by federal law to supply free feminine hygiene products in the workplace. So, however, there's no federal ban, and some state and local jurisdictions require it. So there could be depending on where you live, it could be different. Yes, this place thrives on different opinions. If we all think the same, that's called a cult. If we all think the same, if we all have to agree on everything, that's called a cult. Good for no, that would not be interesting. No, no, that would not be interesting. So she goes into more about. So 42 is where they start with factual allegations. So defendants admit plaintiff was hired in August 2022. Defendants admit plaintiff received compensation, adjustments, and title changes as referenced, although deny the precise sequence and characterization to the extent inconsistent with defendants' records. Speak for themselves. Defendants deny remaining allegations. They admit plaintiff held responsibilities in connection with Beast verticals during the period referenced. Deny plaintiff's characterization of her scope of authority, team size, and budget to the extent inconsistent with defendant's records. This is where discovery is going to get interesting, because she claims that she had a budget of $500,000 and a team of 20 people. Well, that's not what MrBeast says. However, instead of just denying it, he states, deny plaintiff's characterization of her scope of authority, team size, and budget to the extent inconsistent with defendant's records. He brings in the fact that there's records. I can appreciate when you reference that there are receipts to these things, and I'm happy with that. I like receipts. Everybody who knows me knows that I like receipts. Oof. Oh, holy piece of... yeah. I'm kind of speechless right now. Sorry, I just got an email about yeah. I'll tell some of y'all later. Not important right now. But gorgeous. Gorgeous. All right. Defendants admit plaintiff held responsibilities. Defendants admit verticals produced content that reached significant audience. Deny remaining allegations and stated specifically deny any implication that the results were attributable solely to plaintiff. Sounds like she has a grandiose personality. She thinks that if she's involved with it, she must be the only person that gets credit. Sound familiar? I mean, this has got to be a woman thing. Just saying. Just saying. And if you think I'm talking about you, because I know you're watching because you're stalking everything I do lately, yes, I'm talking about you. Thank you very much. This is, if you think I'm talking about you, you might want to look in the mirror. 46 is denied while plaintiff was approached in her work and professional manner. Her professionalism was met with a boys' club environment at MrBeast, where MrBeast policy include it's okay for the boys to be childish. He explicitly denies that. Might be a woman thing, but not this woman. Yeah, me either. Like, it's a team effort. Like, yes, this is my channel, but I can't do this shit alone. Like, Heidel just sent me the information about the feminine products at work. I couldn't do this shit. People send me statutes all the time. Hey, you were talking about this. Here's the information you were questioning or you were looking for. I can't do this shit by myself. I'm not that smart. I don't have an education. Sorry. The whole I don't have a college degree thing makes me laugh because, like, you can't get certified by NBCOT and you can't work in hospital as a COTA without a college degree. You can't sit for the test without a degree from an accredited university or college. So it just makes me laugh. It's like you could fact check that in like 30 seconds. All right. Defendant admits that during her employment, plaintiff made complaints about how she was treated by her supervisors. She just sounds like a complainer. I mean, defendants admit plaintiff filed a complaint about a male supervisor that was investigated, including by interviewing plaintiff, who stated the supervisor treated men and women the same. I would really like to see. I would really like to see that report. Plaintiff's allegations were investigated and not substantiated. On that basis, they are denied. Hey, Iceland, they do that Fleabag. Yeah, well, I don't think she'd be as much of an ass with me if she wasn't encouraged by somebody else. So, yeah, because she wasn't an ass with me until very recently when she was encouraged by somebody else to act that way. So, as much as I don't like her, I was leaving her alone because she was leaving me alone. And then she opened Pandora's box. She sounds butthurt to me. Yeah, she does. I mean, this whole complaint just screams butthurt. And just screams like toxic femininity. And hi to all my rebel people over there. I see you. There's not many people over there, but they're there. And thanks for Rumble for paying me a nickel so far. Appreciate that. There's a whole lot of money I'm making over there. Defendants admit plaintiffs made complaints about Mr. Warren after he had left the company and that from time to time Warren held meetings with men and women at his residence. Defendants lack information as to what plaintiff wore to work at any point during her employment and therefore deny the allegations in the last sentence of 49. So, the last sentence. Plaintiff began to wear baggy clothes and baseball caps so her looks would not potentially negatively impact her employment. Interesting. 50 is denied. Plaintiff was demeaned in other ways. She was told to leave otherwise all male meetings. Asked by Donaldson to fetch her a beer before he would do a video shoot. Something she never witnessed him ask of a male employee. And even then, I was like, so he asked you to get him a beer. Like, worse, like, of all the things to be offended by, that he asked you to get him a beer, if this is true, her allegation is true, you're offended by the fact that he asked you to get him a beer and you never saw him ask a male employee. That's not to say he didn't ask a male employee, or that's not to say he wouldn't ask a male employee. You just might have been the closest person to the fridge. Like, sometimes if we logic this shit out, like, it sounds awful when it's written down, but like, if you think about it, it's like, well, what's the context between this? Maybe you just didn't see him ask somebody to get him, a male to ever get him anything because you weren't there? Or you might have just been the closest freaking person to the fridge and he might have been yelling, hey, can somebody grab me a beer? Not like he ever drinks, but like, plausibility factor here. Looking at both sides of the situation. Just stating something like that without some sort of like context seems shady AF to me. So, defendants admit plaintiff made complaints about Mr. Warren, but deny remaining allegations in 51, which was what can't happen is you going to uppers to complain. That's toxic. My team did that. They're gone. Plaintiff wrote the statement on a note so she could remind herself what could happen if she complained and appeared weak. Defendants admit in November 2023, plaintiff raised internal concerns about Ms. Perisher. Defendants deny any plaintiff's characterization of the content of those concerns, deny concerns describe actual harassment or a hostile work environment, and deny remaining allegations in paragraph 52. I'm not going to read this out loud, but screenshot that. Just saying. It's one of those situations where I don't have a lot of money. I don't. But I'm not entitled. And I will never act or try not to act entitled. However, I have developed some very good friends I don't know what I did to deserve the treatment that a certain family is giving me and treating me like one of their own. But I am not going to take that for granted. And when one of them has a friend who just so happens to be a partner in a law firm because they worked together in the past, I'm just saying that's something that I never thought that would happen. Like and not that that person's going to do anything for me, but like it's interesting to just see it, it's just interesting to see the kind of people that will help you out when you are just not a thunder cow. When you don't go around being a cuntsicle, that's a cunt who has a stick up her ass. When you just don't be a cunt to people, you will be amazed at the help when you are going through a time that is difficult. How people will help you out and who people know. Be careful who you are a bitch to on the internet. And I'm not saying me. I'm just saying when this is why you just don't go around being rude to people on the internet because um like this. Timothy, for example. Don't be rude to Timothy because Timothy got some skills apparently. Um, you know, it's people might have law degrees that you didn't know were lawyers. You might, you know what I mean? Like someone just is occasionally in chat. Oh, and you haven't seen someone in chat. If you see Marcus King, he says I got a message from him last night. He hasn't been around in live chats, in anybody's live chats, because he is a grandpa now. So if you do see him in a chat, wish him a congratulations because he is a grandpa. And I hope he's having the time of his life. So, you talking about the arbitrator of what is allowed on YouTube? Oh yes. It's just don't be a dick to people because you never know who might be there for you when you need somebody. This is why it's always been my motto to treat everybody with respect until they don't deserve it. Just a thought. Sometimes it pays to know, but it pays more. Sometimes it ain't always about what you know, it's about who you know. This is why you don't be a dick to people because you never know who those people actually are behind the keyboards. Just saying. Just saying. And I'm not saying that like I have powerful friends. It's just don't be a dick to people because when people that you're nice to show you how nice they can be, it's like I didn't do anything special. I was just myself. Just myself. So, beast mode recall. Yep. All right. As CEO for Verticals, plaintiff supervised a team of 20 people. He denied that. He's denying anything where she calls herself COO. Defendants admit plaintiff principally worked at home in her social media related role for Game Changer and that she did not report directly to the CEO. Defendants deny all remaining allegations in 61, including implication that plaintiff was demoted. 62 is denied, 63 is denied. Plaintiff went from her Verticals position, managing a team, anything where she talks about the budget, or he already denied that. 63 starts to talk about her FMLA. Plaintiff was working as social media manager for merchandise when informed her supervisor she was pregnant and would need to take leave for the birth of her child. I'm interested to see why he would deny that. What was she doing? If he denies that, what was she doing at the time? Defendants lack knowledge or information sufficient to form a belief as to plaintiff's subjective concerns on the basis that deny paragraph 64. Defendants deny there was any legitimate basis for such concern. Well, that's the thing. If someone's a prick towards me, all bets are off. But like, I don't just. It's why certain people are allowed in this chat that some people don't like, and in fact, some people still create drama in other people's chats because certain people are allowed. I don't do that. Like, I'm not going to treat someone crappy just because they watch a certain person that I don't like on YouTube. They've never done anything to me, so I don't have to like them as people to treat them with a basic level of respect. However, once I am disrespected, all bets are off. Which is where certain people have found themselves, all bets off. With that being said, I don't just go around just being a dick to be a dick. That's Mr. Squid's job. He's amazing at that. In fact, he still does it to me occasionally, and now I just give him like I just roll my eyes. Just retired prick. Yeah. Mr. Squid is a prick. Oh, and by the way, if anybody of the hater group, my background check just came back today, and I'm good. By the way, the latest in the line of background checks. Like, I don't get background checked in this freaking house at least once a year. My 3-year-old has been background checked 4 or 5 times. She's 3. So when you say, "Oh, I'm gonna background check you," okay. Woo. I got a text message this morning that said my latest background check, the background check on the family is good. I just find that hilarious. Like, I don't get background checked because of the places that Mr. Squid works and the things he has his hands in. We get background checked all the time. I know she's wanted all the Nutella missing from stores. Yeah, if all the Nutella from the Walmarts disappear, it's because I went on a spending spree with all this money I don't have. Hey, Leslie, try paying your your tickets. Maybe pay to reinstate your driver's license. Just saying. Before you talk shit about me and my finances, how about you get your own house or houses in check before you talk about my finances? Because I actually pay my bills. He's kind of a dick. He's kind of a dick, and he gets a kick out of it. And when he knows that something gets under someone's skin, he will do it just to be a dick. Just to be a dick. All right, so 66 through 69, they deny. MrBeast didn't give her eligibility for FMLA or anything about FMLA. 71, defendants lack information to respond to the first sentence concerning discussions between plaintiff and her supervisor, who is a former employee, and therefore deny them. Yeah, he doesn't do it anymore with me because he gets poked back. But, she has until the end of this month before driver's license suspension, technically. Yeah, that's the thing that you can't click on it, or as of the last time I looked, you couldn't click on it. So it just says notice for suspension. So I'm like, you best be paying it. Like, I don't hide my shit. Last speeding ticket I got was like 2021. And I paid that shit. It was expensive as hell, but I paid it. 72 is denied. So plaintiff was asked by her supervisor to manage an exhibition booth requiring long periods of standing, physical work, and setting up displays. 73 is denied. Plaintiff sought out and lobbied to be included in the video production in the with the soccer player from Brazil. 74 and 75 denied. Defendants denied that they required plaintiff to perform substantial or continuous work over any 8-week period of FMLA leave. and lack knowledge or information sufficient to form a belief to plaintiff's subjective physical condition. So thanks for that. It's just how much I really don't care about her. She thinks she's important and she's really not. She's more of a joke, just a punchline at this point. So denied as stated, defendants lack any knowledge or information to form a belief as to plaintiff's subjective fears on the basis and deny any allegation, including that such fears were justified or that defendants required or expedited plaintiff to perform any work while in labor. And that's the thing too. I've only been pregnant once. I've only given birth once. However, with that being said, there is a period of time when you are in active labor where you are not in active labor, if you know what I mean. You are not pushing. You could be sitting there for hours. And if I had something to do, like work, to take my mind off the situation that I'm currently in, I would work. I would not say that my employer forced me to work, but I'd want something to freaking do to cut the boredom. Because there for a while, it was only a few hours, but I was bored out of my mind. Nobody could entertain me. I was bored. I wanted to go for a walk. They wouldn't let me. You know how shit goes if you've ever been in the delivery room. So this is another situation where things can be taken out of context and sound really bad. I was working on the day I delivered. Good for you. Did you have a labor that was 18 to 24 hours where you're bored out of your skull and need something to do? Or was it they forced you to? Because on the surface, things can sound really, really bad when taken out of context. But when you use logic, you take your emotion out of it and you add logic back into the situation. It could be a pretty simple explanation, and you were just looking for a handout. And how are they supposed to know what she feels? It's just 77 through 80 is denied. They talk about the handbook. I mean, be careful what you wish for. You never know what this group will come up with to help you out. Yeah. Was it that you were already working when you went into labor? There's that too. There's that too. That I didn't even take into consideration because I just applied it to my own personal situation because that's all I have to relate to. Defendants admit plaintiff's employment ended November 6, 2025. Denied termination was retaliatory, discriminatory, or otherwise unlawful. Defendants admit plaintiff was informed on November 6th that her position was being eliminated. 83, they deny that she was told she was too high caliber. Defendants admit plaintiff's termination was not for cause and deny any remaining characterizations. Oh, so it's now getting into her termination. And then here we go. So this is what I absolutely hate when people do this. Impact on mental health. So defendant lacks knowledge and information to form a belief on plaintiff's subjective emotional state. Because remember, emotions are subjective. What two people can be subjected to the same exact situation at the same exact time and have two completely different emotional responses to those situations. So the fact that this is why intentional infliction of emotional distress is so damn hard to prove, in my opinion. Once again, not a lawyer, never claimed to be. However, I do have a background in psychology, and I just love reading about the brain and psychology. It's interesting to me what makes people tick. And with that, emotions are subjective. It's one of the reasons why, my opinion, that it's really bad to make decisions, and especially important decisions, when you are emotional, because emotions can change minute to minute. It's, I got to win the lotto and replace Squid's air conditioner. It was replaced on Friday. It looks gorgeous, and you've hit peak adulthood when you call a air conditioning unit sexy. That happened. That happened. My wife went into labor with our first son, or with our first on a ladder in Germany, washing her mother's windows. Well, that's a story. She owns the brain book to prove it. Yeah, that's more of an overview. Defendants deny termination was motivated by any protected characteristic or protected activity. So, getting into the counts, FMLA interference. Defendants incorporate their responses. Paragraph 99 states legal conclusion. 100 states a legal conclusion. 101 through 103 are denied. So these are all about did not provide with a notice of FMLA rights or responsibilities, which are pretty big things if they are not done. But here's the thing that I don't remember. I believe when I took FMLA, there was a nice bit of paperwork that had to be like exchanged between HR and I. So there's going to be a paper trail. And my thing is when you file a lawsuit, you should have a paper trail, specifics of when and receipts. And if you file things and you don't have receipts, but somebody else does, you should probably not file that lawsuit. And in this case, it sounds like they might have the receipts that she doesn't. Defendants admit that plaintiff provided notice of desire to take maternity leave. The remaining allegations state a legal conclusion. Denied legal conclusion. Defendants deny any wrongdoing or that plaintiff is entitled to relief. The retaliation. See you, Timothy. Yeah, pays her truck, ACU legal, and banana fund. Yes. Appreciate that. Oh my goodness. So FMLA retaliation. Once again, she states all legal conclusions, which they can't respond to, because how do you respond to a legal conclusion? And that's all of these. 111 through 118. Termination of plaintiff was adverse employment action. It's all legal conclusion. The defendants deny any implication that plaintiff's termination was caused by her exercising any right under FMLA. I mean, denied. Defendants do not have reasonable grounds for believing their acts and omissions were in good faith. Excuse me. Here's count 3, intentional infliction of emotional distress. And of course, they just deny across the board. 125, extreme and outrageous conduct. When demoting and transferring plaintiff after she complained about smexy time harassment and hostile work environment. They deny everything up to 131. Defendants specifically deny and engage in a wrongdoing or that plaintiff is entitled to relief. They acted in disregard for plaintiff's gender and human rights. Like, she literally brought that shit in there. Count 4, wrongful discharge in violation of North Carolina public policy. Legal conclusions, again, denied. Once again, denied. Hey, King Paco. Denied. I feel like I'm just saying denied. It sounds, I don't know about DEI necessarily, but it just sounds like she's playing the woman card. You fired me because I'm a woman. You fired me because I'm a mother. No, we fired you because we were doing company restructuring and there was men who got fired too. And it sucks. Yes. It sucks that you have a basically a 3-month-old when you're no longer have a job, but like that's the thing about business. And that's why it's kind of nice to work for yourself, because the only person you have to rely on for your income is you. You don't have to rely on other people, because whenever you work for somebody else, you are subjected to their company, what they want to do, who they want to hire, who they want to fire. Especially if you work in an at-will state. That they don't need it. They don't need cause. They can fire you for whatever they want. So so any actions taken with respect to plaintiff's employment were based on legitimate, non-discriminatory, and non-retaliatory business reasons unrelated to any actual or alleged exercise of FMLA rights. Such business reasons were not pretextual. Plaintiff cannot establish a causal connection between any alleged protected activity and adverse employment action, and therefore cannot sustain claims for FMLA retaliation, emotional distress, or wrongful discharge. Defendants did not show reckless disregard for whether their conduct was in violation of FMLA. And see, here's the thing too. If they had an FMLA issue of not, or an issue with hostile work environment, MrBeast is a big enough YouTuber, big enough personality that he would have been sued before. And as far as I'm aware, no other women have come after him for anything like this. Like I said, could be wrong. There could have been settlements and things that I don't know about. So it's not an exhaustive, like, hey, this is the way it is. But you would think if this was an ongoing thing, we would have heard more complaints or more people coming forward to say and back up her claims. But she's alone. Update my wavelength. They fixed it. Sweet. Ugh. I will do that. Defendants acted at all times in good faith with reasonable grounds for believing their actions were lawful. Plaintiff claim for intentional infliction of emotional distress is barred in whole or part by the exclusivity provisions of North Carolina Workers' Compensation Act. Allegations do not rise to the level of extreme and outrageous conduct required under North Carolina law, nor do they establish intent, recklessness, or severe emotional distress sufficient to sustain a claim for intentional infliction of emotional distress. And that's the thing. Two people can be subjected to the same stressors and have completely different outcomes. She might be in some sort of emotional distress, but she might also be causing it herself. Just like my toddler will stub her toe or get worked up about something and work herself up so much that she makes herself sick because she works herself up into a tizzy, into something that older kids or even adults are like, this is no big deal. Hold on one. And that's another thing too. But I'm curious as to why, because people have social media all the time. People have the ability to make YouTube videos of their own. And there are plenty of people who would be willing to come out, willing to cover people who may not have sued MrBeast necessarily, but people who worked there and had issues. Whistleblowers. Everybody loves a good whistleblower. Why hasn't anybody come out and said, yeah, I worked there, it sucked. I worked there, it was hostile. I worked there, I had some of the same issues that she's complaining of. I have not seen it. That doesn't say it doesn't exist. I just haven't seen it. Plaintiff is an at-will employee subject to lawful termination at any time. At-will doctrine applies. Plaintiff cannot identify. Sorry, my dad and Mr. Squid came home from work early, and they're talking, and I can hear my dad, and his voice is overpowering. Plaintiff cannot identify a clear, specific, or legal cognizable North Carolina public policy that defendants allegedly violated. Plaintiff cannot establish that defendants' actions were malicious. Plaintiff's claims are barred in whole or part by the doctrines of waiver, estoppel, and unclean hands or latches. Interesting. Gotta love North Carolina. MrBeast and Game Changer are separate and distinct legal entities and do not constitute a single integrated enterprise or joint employer for purposes of any claim asserted by plaintiff. Accordingly, no entity that was not plaintiff's employer may be held liable for the claims asserted in a complaint. Defendants reserve the right to amend or supplement these affirmative defenses as discovery proceeds and additional facts become known. Can't wait. Yeah, my dad is loud. You think I'm loud? My dad is loud. MrBeast thrives on this conflict. Yeah, I haven't actually looked at his channel to see if he is making content, not about this specifically, but like using this to generate more content. Because, you know, people make content off of drama. And prayer for relief. Sorry. With that being said, that is the entire complaint. We made it through in just over an hour and a half. So, getting to my let's see if I can find it. I did put it in Discord, I think. In my Discord, there is a comment section portion. And with that, if people post comments that are funny to me, rude for no reason, things like that, I will post them for the entire Discord to see. Because other than that, my Discord is like pretty boring. I mean, we have sports, just a place where we post memes, a history channel, things like that. However, this is the all right, so we're gonna do this. So I have gotten a comment from this person before, and I honestly have no idea who this person is, nor does it really matter who this person is. But this was on my short. I'm not even sure which video this was, considering that's how little I pay attention to certain comments and certain people. However, it says, oh my God, scandalous. Jeremy did, and now baguettes of biblical proportions are coming. I had no idea what they were referring to. Like, I had no idea what this short. It was on one of my shorts. I didn't even look at the video it was posted on. It just said, for future reference, complete and coherent sentences would help me understand what you're trying to say. Because if you're trying to insult me or insult the contents of my situation of my video, like, come at me with something that makes fucking sense. Squid Pro Co, you wouldn't get it even if it was slowly spelled out for you. Bless your heart. You mean me and my lack of education and college degree that I received in 2014? Have the day you deserve, and thank you for the help with the algorithm. Huh? What? 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 I honestly don't know. But people want their like 15 minutes of fame. So who am I not to get some fucking entertainment and monetize the fucking haters? Because I don't watch Megan and Tug a lot. I don't watch people very much. Like Saturday night, I was watching hockey because, it's still hockey season and I enjoy sports and like, you know. So, but one thing that Megan taught me when I was a mod for her back in the day was to monetize your haters. And who am I not to grift the fucking shit out of that? So, if you come at me in the comment section, especially when I am still mourning the death of a friend, it's been around for a few years. This account, even when Lips wasn't obsessed with me, or my traffic ticket from 2006, this person had commented on they are part of the Hales verse. What side they're on, I ain't got a damn clue. Who they watch, I don't know. It's just one of those like, what? Like, what? Like, can we not like? It's like, yeah. It's like when I'm reading a document or responding to chat and people say, stick to the topic. It's like, do you realize this is a live stream where I am talking to people? It's not a pre-recorded video where I'm like, have a teleprompter and a script. This is me just winging it. I take notes on what I want to talk about. I read through something and I'm like, oh, this looks interesting. I want to highlight that. But like, this is a live stream. It goes how it goes. When I have guests on, yeah, we get a little more derailed than normal because we have conversations. And it's like, I was like, is this your first day on the fucking internet? Like, is this your first day on my channel where you realize that I make fun of people when they come to my channel and try to insult me? Yeah, I don't know if it... yeah. I just got some... JK is hilarious, by the way. 2024 YouTube account. If I looked up the right one. Can I student for stealing? I said that because that's kind of like, I say that when I get in like fights with people on not YouTube, but like Facebook, before I had a YouTube channel, the go-to things are have the day you deserve. And you know this, it's the Southern insult playbook. Bless your heart, have the day you deserve. And I'm gonna pray for your family because I can shut off my computer and you go away. Your family has to put up with you all the time. So, hey, Mary Beth. I'm just getting here. I'll be rewinding a bit to catch up. I pray you're doing well today. We are doing just fine. I'm about to hop off of here and we are about to go get something to eat before work. However, thanks for people hanging out on Rumble. I appreciate you guys. That is the second stream I've ever done on Rumble. So if you comment over on Rumble and I don't get back to you right away, it's because one, I'm at work, and two, I still have to figure out how all that stuff works. Rumble doesn't have like a studio app like YouTube does where I can see comments that are posted on my videos. So it's a little more cumbersome and I'm working on it. But I'm learning because as we do, we learn and evolve because I don't act like I am the smartest person in the room. Yes, educated beyond your intelligence and bless your pea-picking heart. I'm just like, which pearls should I clutch for you? Anyway, y'all, I think I am going to redirect you over to... Come on. Don't you love when technology is like decides it doesn't want to load anymore? And thank you to the one person who hit the dislike button. You are people make me laugh. All right, so I am going to redirect you, and I believe Spawn Trooper is live, or at least he was supposed to be. He was supposed to be live at 4 o'clock. So we're gonna go over there. Rumble makes it faster. I'm still learning Rumble. I'm making it faster than YouTube pays. Viewers can send a Rumble rant right away and become a subscriber, gift subscription to membership faster than YouTube. Also, Rumble takes less, from what I understand, than YouTube. Rumble takes 20% to 15%. I know it's less. So, yeah. I'm going to teach myself how to do something new while the caffeine is still working. Have a great day. Y'all have a great day. Go tell Spawn to get his butt in gear and do something with his life. And I will see you guys over there. Have a great day. Try not to be a twat waffle, and I will see you tomorrow for Temu Law School and boy members only stream. And we have some spicy time things to talk about. So we have some spicy topics for Temu Law School because we're 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern, which is now. So yeah. But I will see you guys tomorrow for members only. Bye. Oh, before we go. I just got these. We'll let well, no. Who just got these?
I did.
A rare voice appearance from Mr. Squid.
Yes, that'll happen.
All right. So I'll let you know how those work out. I hear you're checking in. Oh, thank you. So how much caffeine is in one of these?
15 per.
50 milligrams of caffeine in this little tiny 50 milligrams of caffeine. Focus fuel. If you would like to.
Can't get more.
Flour. Oh, that's good.
Can't get no more. Not this one.
Focus fuel. Ooh, and sponsor me. I have caffeine addiction. I will push that all day because that was delicious. 50 milligrams of caffeine in that little tiny gummy. Yeah, 2 of those have more caffeine than my can of Kickstart. Yeah, don't forget we need an update. Oh, I will. Hold on. Okay, just making sure I got an email. I was just checking it real quick. Update on what? Spawn Troopers live tomorrow. He changed it. Damn it. We hear the voice. Oh my god, when that hits her. That was so good. But that was a little sour too. It was pina colada. All right, guys. Well, I have you set up to redirect over there because nobody else is live. So y'all tell him that he should have streamed today and that streaming tomorrow is a really bad idea. But nobody else is live that I see. So that's the only people I can redirect you to. Go give him a like and make sure you go back tomorrow. Bye. And try not to be a twat waffle.